All right, guys. PGA Championship week, Quail Hollow. We are gonna do the combo IQ sheet. I'm gonna do it a little bit different this week. Um, just show some workarounds for a couple of the requests from some people. This should be enhanced. I think the other version works just fine, and honestly, a lot of the driving buckets get lost. We have a field average for each of those. And we know the number of holes for each of those, but it's 290 to 310, and there's a bunch of 285. So we include 290 to 310, we include 270 to 290. We're mixing them together. It's really not that far off. I'm gonna mix and match a little bit here. We'll see what it looks like. But honestly, I'm not too concerned with it. When there's a bigger chunk in one bucket, you could probably just focus on that bucket, but by including another bucket that's right adjacent to it, I don't think it's any concern. So we will go ahead and jump right into it. Driving IQ. Well, I guess we should just kind of talk through it really fast. Course Preview Pro. This was discussed on the podcast, so hopefully you guys were able to check that out. We're gonna follow this to the T today. So we have 270 to 290. We have 3 holes. We have 9 from 290 to 310, and we have 2 from 310 to 330. And because my math isn't very good, we're going to do 3, 9, and 2. And that's going to be our breakout. So we're going to do a weighted driving IQ with approach IQ, obviously. It'll get done. It's just a little bit tricky on breaking out the buckets in the query that runs to be separate. And then you can kind of include one stat. Right now we include all the stats for the combination of buckets. So long story short, we're going to do it this way today. It's going to accomplish the exact same thing. And it doesn't risk me spending a couple hours to break the tool at midnight, and then you guys are upset tomorrow morning. So these are going to be our buckets. That's 270 to 290, 310, or not 310, 290 to 310, and 310 to 330. And as always, you can, if you hover over these, like the 310 to 330, if you're curious, you can go see, if you hover over, you can see which holes, those are the long drives. It's interesting. They're par 4s and not par 5s. Hole 16 or hole 15 is in this bucket, 302. So it's on the higher end, but it's under 310 as an average. And then the par 4s, 12 and 16, are the long ones, 320 almost for hole 16. And then these are the approach distance buckets. I know there was a question about the breakout of the 200 plus. So I did take a look at it. The 225 to 250 was really a small bucket, and we don't have a bucket for 250 to 275. And honestly, there's so few shots, I'm not even sure that would be worth including anyway. So 200 to 225 is like 28 or 30% of this range, or not 20. What did I say? 28, 30%. Yeah. Of this range. So it's really close to the tour average. This just includes a few shots that are closer to 250 and a few over 250 for the par 5s. But we're just going to do 200 to 225, keep it simple. And I don't think that's again, not something I would be concerned with when I run this, that I'm missing because there's a few, I'm missing data because there's a few shots over 250. So I guess that's not going to really move the needle for me too much. 200 to 225 is a big bucket anyways. So let's take a peek. Driving IQ first. We're going to run 3 of them. Keep it simple. So as always, percentile. So we're going to do 270, 290. On the podcast, I mess with distance penalty. I'm not going to for this video. We're already kind of limited on sample for a few guys, and that's including Masters data. So I'm going to do last 10. And these are holes, by the way. So like you see 12, it's not rounds, it's actual holes like tee shots. You know, if I did medium, you know, these guys are going to drop way down. So we'll do last 12 events. It's not going to change the live guys so much. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, it didn't actually move a ton. So last 10 and last 12 are pretty similar. So we'll do percentile. 270, 290 is the first one. We're going to export that. Open it up. All right, let me move this to this book. I'll save this as a copy when we're done. Let's call this driving buckets. You guys will have that for reference. And in fact, I'll probably reference these. So if you guys want to tinker with this, I don't know why you would, but if you want to, you can change these percentages and it'll change your model. So this is driving IQ 270, 290. Then we're going to do, let me get this off of there. 290 to 310. I know this is a slow start to this video, but then once I have the sheet up, and honestly, I think it helps guys. Some guys like to see the Excel stuff and kind of how you can pull data into Excel and manipulate it or do some formulas, stuff like that. So 290 to 310, a lot more tee shots in that bucket. That's totally fine. We'll do the same sample as far as last 12 events. Percentile still, nothing changes. We'll export that. And again, eventually we're going to have this all in one view and you guys can do whatever you want with it. It's just as you probably know, there's a lot that goes into it and it just takes some time to kind of build it to work together and make sure it's correct. So this is driving IQ 290, 310. And then last one, 310, 330. Same thing, no changes, just export it. Nice and easy. Copy that over. I don't want to make a copy of it. 310, 330. All right. Let's see. So let's go ahead and do the approach IQ. We only have to pull it once, which is nice since it already does. You can already do a weighted model with approach IQ. Let's do that next. And I forget exactly the buckets, so let's open this up. I think I also mentioned this in the podcast. Like it's a pretty small bucket. Let's go ahead and use it as it is. 10, 10, 20, 22, 38. Let's see. Is it 50 to 125? Yeah, I guess we'll just do it. We'll do it all the way. And I'll include 225 to 250. This will be a big sheet, but we'll just do a small percentage there. I know I mentioned it doesn't matter, and I don't think it really does. We'll do the same sample size, last 12 events. Fairway. Again, if anyone ever has like opposition to this, feel free to speak up. My personal opinion, I know it's slightly different because you can tee it up on a par 3, but you know, if I wanted to compare shots on, 150 to 175 and it was par 3 shots, I don't view that any differently than from the fairway, even though they use a tee. The guys all strike it well. The tee doesn't really change anything. If it was like a 20 handicapper and I was somehow analyzing their skill set, it would matter for sure. Teeing up a ball from 150 versus off the ground with a 20 handicapper. Yeah, but not a PGA Tour professional. First cut, could kind of see an argument against that, being as the first cut's typically a little fluffier and maybe there's more inconsistency. I could argue that side. Large and away, it's very similar. We got plenty of sample, so let's just take it out. I don't think it dropped that much or increased that much when I added it. Let's see what it says. Yeah, about, I don't know, a couple guys was like 40 shots or not even that, maybe 20 or 40 shots. So